you know, we're always, you know, going chest to chest and yelling. You know, on my way down here was kind of that chest to chest battle, and she had like saliva flying, and I was like, COVID, run, right? And I'm like, I don't want to discriminate, no, it's okay. You know, those are germs, they're not mine. But, you know, one of the things that I had to be mindful of is that everybody has a voice and everybody wants to be heard. And so oftentimes I lived, born and raised here in Portland, Oregon. My grandmother, I grew up over in Northeast Portland, right, before the whole Red Line District and all that, and the gentrification happened, and they pushed all the African Americans out to Southeast. And so there's a little history behind that, and I encourage you guys to study and show thyself approved. Is that how they say it in church? Okay. So anyways, it was one of those things where I had realized, you know, with my grandma marching after King, and, you know, my aunt being a PO, and, you know, being on the blue side, if there has to be a side, why I don't understand. I was like, are those Crips, Bloods? No, that's bigger than that. That's mobs, it's bullies. Okay, one of those things. It doesn't matter, right? And so, and me happening to be on both sides at one point at the time, you know, it's just one of I had to sit back and take a step out on faith and courage. And I was at my cousin's house one day, and I was so frustrated because I was terrified to go home, right? And I don't know what you come to do, but no, it was like I had just had enough. You know, I'm serious, when you're nervous, all else fails till a joke, honey, it works. But, you know, like I had just had enough, and I was talking to my cousin. I was so frustrated because I had been beat down, dragged out, tired of being sick and tired. And when I say spin around Boulevard and turn around Avenue of just pure insanity, doing the same thing, expecting different results, right? Every time I turn around, I want to sit up there and talk about, well, why are they doing this? It's that they, right, Eric? Just say right. Right, that's right. So it's that they, you know, and when it comes down to it, it's like, you know, I want to be the voice to make a change. But I don't think that my voice matters, right? Because everybody's yelling, and I can't yell louder than a group of people. I've tried, and it does not work. But I can get kind of up there, right? And so finally, I just remember praying, and, you know, I had to realize that I don't have a shelf God, first of all. Wherever I'm at in my life, whatever road I decide to detour on, I don't put God to the side and say, okay, God, I'll be back for you later. Right. I'm finna take him in whatever house I walk up into. I'm finna take him to whatever situation I'm in. I'm finna take him into for whatever camera I stand in front of, whatever relationship I'm in, whoever I meet. My God is coming with me. Because you know why? If it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be standing here today. You know what I'm saying? And I have more than enough, you know. I just went there, and I went in, and when I went into my prayer closet, I mean, I went in like, God, you know, look, I'm sick and tired of this. It's madness. I'm scared to go home, and I'm supposed to be this tough cookie, you know, I'm standing a big old cream puff, and I'm scared to walk outside. Like, what is this? They done burnt up the hair store? I need no. That was violation number one. No, I am not having that. Okay? I need my wigs, weaves, and bundles. And so, and it wasn't just primarily that. It was like, down there on Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard, going stone cold Steve Austin about what? About something that you can't even, you probably did. I've been that mad, and you forget about why you're that upset when you get that upset. Now I'm just mad because I done forgot why I'm mad. You know, and so it was like, Lord, I just need you to do something different. And he said, well, why don't you go? I've been telling you to go a long time ago. I said, well, me? Okay, so yeah, I'm not hearing it. Selective hearing. And so at that point I said, okay, well, what am I going to say, God? He said, you have a message to take. You have a message to deliver, and that's to speak to the people when I tell you to go. And for a long time, I fought and I battled that and drove my own self insane. And finally, my cousin, she was telling me, she said, you know what, Raeona, on your way home, be careful because they're rioting again. And I'm sitting there like, oh God, I just can't do this. I have so much anxiety. Right? I feel like a little kitten in the middle of a freeway. Like, oh God, which way do I go? You know, I mean, I don't know about you, but you get a group of white people coming up to me, I'm gonna get nervous. I'm like, oh God, okay, it's one too many. Let me do a head count. 1, 2, okay, yep, time to go. And it's learned fear, just like there's been learned hate. You know, people learn how to hate, they learn how to fear. You know, when a baby is first born, there's been scientific studies shown that a newborn, if you are able to make that eye contact with him, at that point, that baby will mimic whatever facial expression that you make, right? And so that's ironic because it's just a mirror image of you, right? So you sit there and you make this face, the baby makes a face back, and you're like, well, why are you looking at me like that? Well, why are you looking at me like that? And I'm like, well, why are the babies always like this when they come out? Like, well, because I'm looking like, well, God, did that really just happen? You know, and so that's how they look at me. And so it was just that moment where I said, okay, and she's like, well, Raeona, don't go down there. And I'm like, okay, I'm not gonna go. And here I go, skirt, yep, I'm going. So I had my buddy in the car, shout out to Terrence, we was riding and it wasn't until afterwards, Terrence was like, I did not know where we were going. I said, honey, you didn't know? Turned up the rap music and hit the gas, okay, because I got something to say. And by the time I got there, I was so out of breath and just shocked and appalled by everything. I couldn't even get my words out right. I was yelling, screaming, cussing, and fussing, but primarily somebody sought out the message that and was able to see and connect with me and say, hey, look, you know, Quincy was like, right here, I'm right here, I got the camera. What is it that you have to say? And at that point, I was like, well, what do I got to say? That's right. No, I got something to say. You know, and the point of it is that I just wanted everybody to stop. Just stop. Knock it off. It's not about Black Lives Matter because you'll see it is funny. It's funny at the time, but now it is. I said, now what do you think throwing that bottle of urine at this officer has to do with a black life? Enlighten me, because I'll wait. I got time.